Dr. Ken Whitty, how can I survive the sinking of the Titanic?
Well, kiddo, that is a really stupid question. But anyway, I will answer it in a minute.
Alpha, Omega, kinetic energy. Stupid questions answered cleverly.
Today, we're delving into the enigmatic world of the Titanic, a topic as vast and intriguing as the ocean itself. Join your trusty guide, Dr. Ken Whitty, through the twists and turns of this legendary tale. Have you ever heard of the man who survived the Titanic sinking because he drank 2 bottles of whiskey? Well, kiddo, let me spin you the yarn of Charles Juchin, the sous chef who navigated the Titanic's demise with 2 bottles of whiskey as his companions. Now, Charles was the head chef aboard the RMS Titanic, that famed luxury liner which met its watery grave on the April 14th, 1912, during its maiden voyage. Despite all its fancy trimmings, there weren't enough lifeboats to go around for everyone on board. Tragically, a whole bunch of folks didn't make it out alive. We're talking about 1,500 souls lost at sea, while only around 700 made it out alive. One of them was Charles Juchin, as already mentioned. It's said that Charles had 2 bottles of whiskey with him, which he imbibed as the ship sank. Thanks to the alcohol, he braved the 2 degrees Celsius cold water for about 4 hours, while most of the other people died within 15 minutes from the cold. Remarkably, Juchin survived the tragedy by clinging to the water's surface until he was rescued by a lifeboat. His ability to endure the frigid North Atlantic waters is attributed to the alcohol, which may have raised his body temperature and protected him from hypothermia. You see, alcohol can temporarily dilate blood vessels, allowing more warm blood to reach the skin's surface, thus helping to maintain body temperature and slow the loss of heat. Juchin later testified about the events aboard the Titanic and became a prominent figure in the accounts of the disaster. You know, they say Charles Juchin was the real-life Jack Sparrow of the Titanic. 2 bottles of whiskey, and he's the last man standing. Now, that's what I call liquid courage. Brain cells, pay attention. The dance floor for neurons is opening now. While Charles missed out on the spotlight in the well-known movie Titanic, there were plenty of other historical figures who played in the spotlight. Take Isidor Strauss and his wife Ida, for example, the ultimate power couple. They went down together like a sinking ship. Oh, wait. They were on a sinking ship. Isidor was a big-shot entrepreneur, and he and his brother owned Macy's, one of the biggest stores around back in the day. Now, picture this. Isidor and Ida hop aboard the Titanic. But when disaster strikes, Isidor refuses to jump ahead of others onto a lifeboat. He wanted to save space in the boat for other people. And wouldn't you know it, Ida sticks by his side. They go down together, becoming symbols of bravery. Isidor and Ida sure got their little Hollywood moment in the movie, when they were immortalized in this scene, laying in bed next to each other, ready to face death. You see, while James Cameron, the producer of the movie, did his darndest to cram as many true-to-life details into that blockbuster Titanic, there's this one little mystery that's got tongues wagging. Everyone knows about Rose and Jack's whirlwind romance in the movie. This story is just pulled straight out of Cameron's fantasy. But get this, turns out Jack Dawson might just be more than a figment of Cameron's imagination. Why, you ask? Well, there's this tombstone with the initials J. Dawson. That's got folks wondering if our lad Jack was real after all. The tombstone's tucked away in Halifax, Canada, where many of the Titanic victims are laid to rest. Some speculate that J. Dawson could have been Joseph Dawson, a crew member aboard the Titanic, while others think it might be someone else entirely. Nonetheless, that grave is like a pilgrimage spot for Titanic enthusiasts. Folks from all over make the trip to Halifax just to see Jack Dawson's grave. Now, isn't that a head-scratcher? Cameron sure knows how to keep us guessing, even after all these years. But that they don't teach you in school, do they? By the way, did you know that the film adaptation of Titanic ended up costing more than the actual construction of the Titanic itself? Now, wrap your head around this. Building the RMS Titanic back in the day set them back about 1.5 million pounds, which, when adjusted for inflation, would be around a whopping $177 million today. But hold onto your hat, because James Cameron's big spender movie from 1997, that big boy racked up a bill of $200 million. Now, ain't that something? I guess they really went overboard with the spending. Who knew recreating a disaster could cost so much? Also, James Cameron has been involved in capturing the initial footage of the Titanic's wreckage since its tragic sinking. Yes, indeed, Cameron, known for his meticulous attention to detail, has ventured down to the depths of the ocean multiple times to document the remains of the iconic ship for his movie. His deep-sea expeditions have not only provided invaluable insight into the condition of the Titanic, but have also contributed to our understanding of its final resting place. Quite interesting, huh? We know the Titanic was one of the worst shipwrecks of its time, and even today it's wrapped up in all sorts of myths and legends. Now, here's a quirky fact for you. That fourth smokestack on the Titanic? Purely for show. Yep, you heard me right. The Titanic had 4 smokestacks, but only 3 of them were the real deal. That fourth one? Just there to make the ship look grander and more impressive. It didn't even connect to any smokestacks below. Just an aesthetic touch, you know? Ahoy there, mates! We've traversed the enigmatic waters of the Titanic together. From Charles Jokin's whiskey-fueled survival tale to the courageous spirit of Isidor and Ida Strauss, we've seen bravery in the face of tragedy. The mystery of Jack Dawson's potential existence and the whimsical fourth smokestack keep us guessing. So let's raise a glass to the Titanic, a timeless emblem of both heartbreak and intrigue. And to answer your stupid question, kiddo, just chug 2 bottles of whiskey before hopping onto the Titanic. Well, kiddo, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more interesting videos like this, leave a like and subscribe to this channel. You don't want to die stupid, do you? And feel free to ask more questions in the comments down below.